Hi there. Welcome to Craft with Kathie. Going to continue with a little bit more sign making tonight. I did a little prep work beforehand so that you didn't have to watch paint dry in effect. So I did a little prep work in advance, and I painted one of the rectangular simple shapes with candy apple red. So I wanted a little bit different of a look. They come whitewashed like this, and they're two in a package, and they're actually a great economical way of making some nice little signs. So I painted this, and before I continue with it, what I want to do is give it a very light sanding with some fine sandpaper to smooth out the paint a little bit. Just opening up my package of sanding sponges. And I want something with a little bit finer of a grit. And of course what I want is the last thing in the package, of course, right? Okay. So, all I'm going to do, well, let me get my transfer out of here and do a light sanding. I'm coming at you from the suburbs west of Chicago. Drop me a line and let me know where you're viewing from. And if you're new to my page, comment new below. Say hello. We're all friends here. Don't be shy. Just jump right in. Don't worry about anything. Very, very light sanding just to even out the paint a little bit, because sometimes it could be a little bumpy. And as I'm doing it, I'm actually distressing the edges a little bit. If you don't want to distress your edges, just don't do the edges. I did actually paint the sides, so I thought a little distressed edge might be interesting. Oops. So distressing can be very quick and easy. I mean, seriously, I'm using a sponge sander or whatever by hand. You don't really need a sander to do this. It just takes a moment. And I'm going to wipe that off and clean off my surface, and then we'll get moving on the next sign. Now this is wood, so as wood, even though it's been painted with chalk paste, I do want to wax it. And you could actually have painted it with chalk paint or any other kind of paint that you wanted. I just use the chalk paste because I really like using our paste to paint with, because then I know my colors always coordinate. If I'm using candy apple red in one area and then I use it for another part of it or whatever, it's going to match exactly. There's no trying to match up colors or whatever. So that's why I like using our paste to paint with. And generally when I paint with our paste, I will actually dilute it with a little bit of distilled water just so that it's a little bit smoother of an application. And I did do that earlier today. And I put 2 coats on that, 2 or 3 coats. Didn't take much time. I just dried it in between with my dryer, so it was easy peasy. So I'm going to quickly wax this, and then we'll get on to actually making the sign. I'm using our surface wax. If you don't have any surface wax in a pinch, you can use, this is my tip from yesterday, you can use wax paper, crumple it up into a ball and rub it, really rub it into the surface. And the reason that you wax wood surfaces is to protect your transfer. Main reason is to protect your transfer because it is adhesive backed, and you don't want any paint in this case, or wood slivers of wood or anything else. The wood is whitewashed to begin with, but you wouldn't want any of that coming off on the back of your transfer, on the adhesive side of your transfer. So I've got this covered with my wax, and then I'm going to just basically buff it in and buff it off. Buff in what's on it and remove any excess. And And it only takes a moment, but can you tell how it's deepening the color? Okay, almost done with this. You want to make sure it slides real, that it's kind of slippery feeling. That way you can tell that the wax has been all buffed in. Okay, looks nice, feels nice. We're on to the actual sign. Now the other day I made holiday cheer. So what I was thinking of this with the red background is actually I was thinking of doing, the holiday cheer is so generic, I was thinking of doing So Very Merry. I thought it might be nice with the shimmer frost for the wording and the gold for the dots and the decoration around it. So that's what I'm going to go for. Let me grab a fuzzing cloth. I've already cut these transfers apart. So all I need to do is fuzz it and then get on with it. Our fuzzing cloth has two sides. One side's the microfiber, used more for drying like chalkboards and whatever, and sometimes drying our transfers. The other side is the terry cloth that you actually fuzz your transfer on to deliberately diminish the stickiness of the adhesive back. We just want to soften up the adhesiveness a little bit. And usually for a new transfer on wood or something like that, I'll do this about 3 times. If I was using this on glass, though, I would fuzz it quite a bit just so that it didn't stick, because anything that is real smooth like glass or metal or mirror is going to stick very, very strongly. And I know yesterday I moved my transfer down a little bit to allow a little bit up at the top for a sign or for some foliage or something. I'm going to pretty much do the same thing here. I've got a little piece of fuzz from my fuzzing towel there on over the silk screen. I don't want that covered up. I just took this fuzzing cloth out of the package. I guess I should have shook it out a little bit because I've got little big fuzzies where I don't want them. You don't want them on, you don't want pieces of fuzz on your silk screen. If it's on the teal, it's fine. But we want the silk screen clear so that the image is nice and crisp. Okay, I'm going to smooth this down. A little crooked. Let me try that again. Just leaving a tiny, tiny border at the bottom. And I'm just eyeballing it to make sure it's straight. And of course I just moved it. 3rd time's a charm, right? Okay, and you want to make sure that everything's nice and smooth. You don't have any air bubbles or anything in it. And I'm going to use my Shimmer Frost to do the wording in the center. It's a nice shimmery white, not glitter, but kind of. It shimmers and shines. And I just see I've got a piece of lint underneath my E here. What am I doing? Let's get that out of the way. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to go over my wording with my Shimmer Frost. Just gently apply it. You don't really have to put a lot of pressure. Just smooth it over the area. Over the silkscreen for the area you want covered, which for me with this is the wording. Of course, you could use whatever colors you'd like. And then I like to smooth it out, make sure I remove any lines, any excess paste. Put the excess paste back in the jar, and let's take a quick peek before I do the border. Oh yeah, nice. Whoops. That's one way of smudging things, isn't it? Okay, I'm not gonna press that down. Just want to lay it down gently over itself. I wasn't planning on doing a paste and peel tonight with this because I thought I'd be quick enough that I didn't need to. But if you're working on something that's going to take a little bit longer, you want to lift it up so that the paste doesn't dry in the silk screen before you go on to another area. So I'm just pressing it down around the border. I've got a little air bubble that I picked up there. Make sure my border is nice and smooth. Now I don't want to press down over my wording because I don't want to smear anything. And I'm going to do the border in gold. Oops, I think I grabbed my nominee. You could use this gold shimmer if you'd like. They're close in color. Now I just want to make sure I do not go off the transfer onto my actual surface. I want to stay on the transfer so it's easier for me to see this pulling the squeegee towards me, because I don't want to get any gold down here. If I did, I would try and wipe it off right away, because I did wax it, and the wax acts as somewhat of a barrier to the paste too, so I could probably wipe it off and clean it if I caught it right away. Don't be afraid of happy accidents either. You know, Bob Ross's phrase for little oopses or little mistakes, sometimes they make something look a lot nicer. I'll turn the surface here so that I could see what I'm doing a little bit better and get my little berries down here. Don't want to miss any of those dots. Now, if I did make a mistake and miss something, what I would do is I would just wash my transfer, clean it, let it dry, and then once my surface is dry and the transfer is dry, I just line it up again and chalk over the area I missed. It's really that simple. Be patient with yourself. This is a fairly easy project all in all. It's suitable for a new chalker. We're only using 2 colors, and it's a fairly small surface. It's an economical surface to boot, so it really is a good project for our beginner. And who would think that you could make this in the matter of just a few minutes? I missed a little red dot down here. I just caught it. I'm going to go back over, look at everything, make sure that I've caught everything. I missed a little part of the dot up here. I think everything else looks good. Remove my excess paste, put it back in the jar, and it's peel and reveal time. Oh my goodness, we haven't even been at this for 15 minutes. How cool is that? Oops. My S and my O. I don't know if the paste was drying in there or if I just didn't catch it fully. Let me go over that again. I like to slowly lift up my transfer in case something like this happens where I could go back over it and fix it. I'm not getting the bottom of this. Okay, let's try it again. I'm wondering if the paste dried and it's just lifting up. No, it looks like it. I did a little bit too much yakking, I guess, there, right? Well, then I'll just have to show you how to fix it. Okay, I'm going to set that aside to dry. Let me close up my paste. And seriously, this is so easy to fix. I'm going to grab a board eraser to clean up my transfer. I've actually cut this one in half. So I'm going to spritz my transfer with a little bit of water. Same thing with my board eraser. Now you could clean your transfer up at the sink. Use your spray if you've got a spray. I even like using my board eraser in the sink when I clean it. It just takes like all the excess paste off of the top quickly. And then I'm going to grab a disinfecting wipe to remove the remainder of the paste. And I guess I'll show you a little trick in speed drying your transfers. So I'm getting all the paste off the top. I'm going to flip this over. Now remove the paste from the back. Whoa, you don't want to do that. Be a little bit more patient. Take your time when you're cleaning your transfers. I'm always in a hurry cleaning when I'm going live because I think it's boring for anyone to have to watch, so I try to really whip through it. But I want to make sure I get all the paste out of the silk screen. If you're not sure, just lift your transfer up to the light where you could see through the silk screen and make sure it looks clear. I'm going to grab another disinfecting wipe. Sometimes with the shimmers, it's a little bit more labor intensive here, and I needed something that was a little bit juicier, a little bit wetter of a wipe that kind of had dried out. Now, if you don't want to use disinfecting wipes, use the board eraser. Just don't go real heavy pressure on the adhesive side because you don't want to scrape off the adhesive, of course. Once you've got all the paste off, just go over it in one direction to remove all the lint that you deliberately applied to lessen the adhesive. We want to remove the lint so that it's real sticky again. Okay, now here's a little trick for speed drying your transfer. Remember I said the fuzzing cloth has a terry side for fuzzing and a microfiber side? Well, I'm going to use the microfiber side, put my transfer on it sticky side up, and I'm going to just fold over my fuzzing cloth, my fuzzing towel over, and gently press out any of the moisture. This will pretty much dry it. It won't be totally dry, but it'll be close. Then I'm going to set it on a flat surface to finish drying. And my sign is not quite dry. The shimmers always take a little bit longer to dry, I figure about 8 minutes or so. So I am going to hit this with my little drying tool. It looks like a heat gun, but it is not a heat gun. A heat gun would be too hot to use. And I've grabbed our drying tool now. He has a longer cord. This is my old one. It's got a short cord, so I'm gonna be off camera for a moment while I dry this. But I want to make sure that all my chalk paste is fully dry before I put the transfer back over it, because I wouldn't want to smudge it or lift it up. Oh, I really like the gold on the red background. It's very, very pretty. Our heat tool has rather focused airstream. It doesn't get that hot, but it's a very focused stream of air, which dries pretty quickly. If you don't have a drying tool, just use a hair dryer. Oops, I just pulled that right out of the plug. Okay. So once you've used something to dry your surface, you don't want to do anything with it until it returns to normal temperature. This is slightly warm because the drying tool is slightly warm. So I'm going to set that there. Okay, this looks like it's pretty dry. I'm going to fuzz it again before I apply it. And all I'm really going to do is line it up over the area that I missed. So it's pretty much the S and the O. See where I missed the edge of the S on the bottom? I think actually the O looks fine. So really all I have to do is line up or line it up and do the S. So our transfers are a little bit more translucent than they used to be, which actually makes lining them up so much easier. Oops, I'm a little off because I see my O isn't quite lined up there. So I'm actually lining up more for the O than anything else, knowing that when I have that lined up, it'll be in the proper position for my, oops, my S. And I realize here I'm missing a little bit of the V, so maybe I'll do the S and the V. Okay, let's take a look at it. There we go. I've got a tiny little smudge in the center, but I'm not going to worry about that because I could clean that up with my detail tool once it dries. So again, I'm going to put this aside to dry. I need to clean this transfer up. I only used a teeny bit of it, so let me just get that cleaned up. If you would like to be privy to additional ideas, inspiration, and some inside information, come at VIP to join my VIP group. Don't miss out on some of the fun in there. Everyone other than designers are welcome. Company policy prohibits me having designers in my VIP group. But come on over. I'd love to see you there. Now, as I only used or only chalked 2 letters, that's all I have to clean the chalk out of. But I will remove the lint from the entire transfer because I fuzzed the entire transfer. So I'm cleaning my V, I'm cleaning my S. I'm going to flip this over. Clean the back. Boy, it's still pretty sticky. Get the paste out of my S and out of my V. Now, proper carrier transfers is basically just getting the paste out of the silk screen and letting them dry on a flat surface. Then when they're done drying, put the transfer, the backer back on it. Oops. And you can put it in its little cellophane envelope for storage. I hang my transfers because it's easier for me to see what I'm looking at that way. Some people put them in little narrow drawers or in portfolios. You do whatever works for you. And sometimes you try one thing, and if it's not quite right, or as your collection grows, you might have to move on to a slightly different method. Easy peasy. You can see I'm pulling up some of the teal from the fuzzing towel. Just want to make sure I get all that lint off, which means I'll get many more uses out of this transfer. Transfers are good for 8 to 12 uses or more. Okay, I'm going to set this aside to dry on a flat surface. And then put it back on its backer sheet. Today is the 6th day of Chalkmas, which is basically our spin on the 12 days of Christmas. And today's special is buy the woodland transfer, which is like a little collection of animals, skunks, whatever else. And you'll get the 6 pieces of coordinating chalkable chips with them for free. I think that's a $16 value. If I remember right, the chalkable shapes are like $16. So that's a really good deal. Most of our offerings for the 12 days of Christmas will last until December 12th. Some of them will only be for one day. Yesterday's was the A size. The smaller size transfers were $5, reduced from $11 to $5. But that special was only good for the 5th day of Christmas. It expired at midnight. But some of our other things are still going. We have select chalk paste in the individual packets for $1, which is really, really cool. And then we had, I think our 2nd day of Christmas was buy 2 shadow boxes, get 1 for $3. The 3rd day was, no, that might have been the 3rd. What was the 2nd day? Oh, goodness, I can't remember. It's been such a whirlwind of sales. I can't remember. Anyway, all you have to do is go to the website. I'll post it in the comments. You know what? I could do that right now if you want to just check them out. Get all my little sanding sponges out of the way here. So if there's something you've had your eye on, now's the time to get it. Give yourself a little Christmas present. If you enjoy crafting, you're a DIYer or a maker, truly, chalk makes it so much easier. It's absolutely amazing. I love doing projects. I love sharing how to do it with people. It just makes me happy when I see somebody lift a transfer up off of their surface for the first time and see what they created without a lot of effort and without a lot of cost. It just warms my heart. It's amazing. It's like teaching something in school, teaching a student a new skill, and when you see that light bulb go off, it just absolutely warms your heart. It's so much fun. If you are in my VIP group, I do have a couple bundles that will be presented at the end of this week. I can't talk about any special things that I'm having in my public page. Hence, if you'd like to be in my VIP group, comment VIP below and I will send you the link. There are a couple questions to answer. One is, saying that you're not a designer, and another is abiding by the rules, the normal verbiage and whatever. I will probably be adding a request for an email address for people. Not that it's required, but I've been having a little bit of an issue with a drawing that we have. It's hard to contact people if they don't see what's up on the page. I don't want anyone to miss out on anything. So anyway, if you're interested, comment VIP. Okay. I've got a little smudge here in the S, and I'm going to show you how I fix it. My little detail tool has a tiny little mini squeegee on one side. The other side's got a little pokey tool, which is actually just perfect for going in when you've made a little oops and gently, basically etching it off. And then I could do the same thing here with the V. I don't want to go too hard because I don't want to be etching off the paint or anything here. But that's all there is to it. How simple, quick, and easy was that? If you've ever thought about being a designer or getting a discount on your crafting supplies, comment team below and I will direct you to a little video that tells you all about it. We have a great special going on right now, a beautiful perks pack of supplies that's like $277 or so worth of supplies that designers get for only $99. A great entry into chalking, whether you want to do it just for fun or you want to do craft shows or you're a maker or whatever you want to do, or you want to teach other people how to do it. Everyone's welcome. I'd love to have you join my team. So if you're interested, just comment team below, and no obligation, of course, whatsoever, and I will just pass on the appropriate information to you. Thank you so much for joining me this evening. It's been a lot of fun, and I really, really love this sign. It's a nice counterpoint to this holiday cheer that was a little bit more reserved. I think the red is nice and cheery and bright. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to display them yet. I'm actually thinking of just punching holes in the top with our little, I can't think of what it's called. It's a little hole puncher, right? It goes through these very easily, and then just string in some jute or some ribbon. I think that'll work on either one of them. I'm just not sure if that's what I want to do. If I don't want to hang them, I could use these little stands that we have. I'll show you how they work. They come 2 in a package. They're kind of like the stands of our board and vase, but in a little mini version. And they have a slight angle in here. And let me get this out of the way. And then it'll hold it up for you. So it'll be nice sitting on your mantle or on a book case or on your entry table or whatever, if you don't want to hang it up. So you could do it either way. It really depends what your preference is, right? Let's see if that will stand. I've added some information about our current perks pack at the end in case you'd like to check it out. Here is actually a picture of everything that's included in the kit. Oh, isn't it absolutely amazing? What a cool selection. Perfect for the holidays and winter. And then I've actually got a detailed list of everything. The perks pack is $99. Its retail value is $266, so almost $270. And it includes the monthly Club Couture transfer, the hard candy transfer, the perfect match, the floral XOXO, ice skating, and winter cheer. All transfers that are reusable to give you a good start. And here's the surfaces it comes with. The 8.5 by 11 inch London frame chalkboard, reusable. A palette sign that's 9 by 12 inches. It's wood, one-time use. A shadow box, which is absolutely amazing. The whiteboard and base. 2 candy hearts. And something else that I actually missed. And then you get the paste palette packet, I Heart You, the Everyday Home paste palette packet, bright white paste, 3 ounces, and a black velvet paste, 3 ounces, color trays, a small squeegee, and a 2-pack of board erasers. Oops, I missed out on the 10-pack of XO chalkable shapes. That's also included. Thank you for watching. See you soon.